Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your Libertarian car guy. Going to do a quick walk around here of the 2018 Hyundai Elantra GT. Little bit of confusion here. This isn't, as per usual practice, just a hatchbacked version of an existing sedan. The sedan that's currently on sale is actually a different model than this car. This is essentially the version of the Elantra that they sell in Europe. It's got a different wheelbase, shorter wheelbase, and it's actually shorter overall than the current Elantra sedan. But interestingly, it's substantially roomier on the inside in every category except for one, which I'll get to in a moment. As you probably know and may have actually read over at EP Autos, sedans are being thrown in the woods generally. Ford has announced that it's more or less going to stop building them. It's only going to have a couple of passenger cars in its inventory, and even stalwarts like the Honda Accord and the Toyota Camry are not selling particularly well. And I think the reason for that is pretty blatantly obviously that they just don't have much room anymore relative to what you can get in, say, a crossover or an SUV, and that's why those vehicles are so popular, and also a hatchback. The Elantra sedan has about a 14.8 cubic foot trunk, which is actually a pretty good size trunk for a little car. But if you were to buy the GT, you would get more than twice the cargo capacity, just about anyway, behind the back seats, and 3-4 times with the back seats folded down, and here's why. So bear with me a minute as I pop the hatch back. Because you've got this nice big wide opening gate first of all, and you can drop those back seats completely. In a trunk type scenario, all you've got is that little trunk which opens not too wide, and then you've got that not much space in here. So this is a much more space efficient package than a sedan. You got a smaller overall footprint, you got more room inside in every way except for one. The back seat in this car is slightly tighter than in the sedan. It's not a huge difference, but it is something that has to be mentioned. It's 34.8 inches of backseat legroom versus 35.7 in the sedan. So it's a little bit tighter in here. It's not terrible. Hope the glare's not too awful in here. You probably can't see it too well. For a big tall geek like me, it's kind of tight back here, but it's certainly decent for normal sized people. Kids, no fuss, no muss. Another area where this car is obviously different from the sedan is the interior. So have a look inside. Totally different interior layout. In the sedan, the touchscreen, which you can see here, is actually embedded in the dash, and this one is more of the floating iPad style that's become very popular. Something else that's different about this car versus the sedan is that there are only the two engine choices. There's the base 2-liter engine and then the optional 1.6 turbo engine. With the sedan, you can get that 1.4-liter eco engine, which is not, at least for the moment, going to be offered with the GT. Now, my personal recommendation would be to go ahead and spend a little bit of extra coin for the Turbo GT, because you get 201 horsepower and the car moves out pretty well, and you can get it with a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed automated manual. On the other hand, as some of you who have followed my rants will know, turbo engines, gosh, I don't know. If I were going to buy one of these things and keep it for 10-15 years, which is generally what I do, I probably would want to get the 2.0 engine just because it hasn't got a turbo. May not have as much power, may not be super speedy. However, you'll never have to worry about the turbo crapping out on you and having to spend a bunch of money on that, or an intercooler and all the related peripheral parts. Anyhow, I will have more up at epautos.com shortly, probably later today. There's also a fresh rant up there about this whole thing with Ford dropping most of its passenger cars, and something about eminent domain. That's a local issue here out in the woods, but is also a general issue that affects pretty much anybody who lives in this country, potentially at least. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you again soon.